Hi, Coach Kirsten. Today on Never Legends podcast, I have Madison coach Kirsten Stone, recent winner of the Northern Region, and we're getting ready to go to the state quarterfinals on Friday. And I really appreciate you taking some time to talk to me.
All right, thank you.
We're good. Well, let's talk about your team. Well, no, first of all, I want to talk about your mood. You know, when you're the favorite. There's a lot of expectations that are heaped upon you. What is the feeling when you win the region? Is it just relief that you finally got there? Because everyone said Madison's supposed to do it every year, well, at least this year, or is it really joy? Hey, we won it again. What's your mood right now?
Oh, it's definitely joy because we don't consider ourselves the favorite, so it's definitely a joy, and everything is game by game. But now it's stressing about the next round, right? So you're joy for a night, and then it's back to work.
Exactly. You can have complete joy maybe a week and a half from now.
Yeah, we'll see.
Exactly. Well, I got a chance to see Madison, I think 3 times this year. And as you know, I've been away from high school ball for like 15 years or so. But one thing you and Coach Lewis told me is that the girls' game has evolved. And I can honestly say your team was one of the best girls' teams I've ever seen play. I mean, you have legitimate post players, you have size, you have 2 guards. I mean, if you had one of those guards, some coaches probably never had a guard as good as one of them. You have 2 of them. You really seem like you have a nice balanced team, and the kids play hard. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your team?
Yeah, I do. Well, I have 8 seniors, which I've never had before in my coaching career. And so, the most well-known are the Arnolys, and they are very quick, and one's going to Brown and one's going to Gettysburg. And then I have 2 big 6'2" posts. And then, then we have, sometimes Kayla Dixon, a junior start, sometimes Katie Kashuta, a senior start. So, I know that we go pretty deep too. I mean, I usually only play 7 to, normally 7 in a year, and we go 8 deep all the time. So that's us.
I saw you at Oakland earlier this year. Unbelievable performance. You subbed 5 at a time in the first quarter.
Yeah. We're pretty deep this year. I've never been as deep as I am. I lose it all next year, but we'll just try and enjoy what we have now.
Exactly. Well, one thing that I noticed about you got a very positive style of coaching. You keep it positive. I think sometimes when you have a really good team, you want to be ahead 20-0 right away. You just want to let it be done. But you have to just do the little things. It seems like you do a good job of just focusing on the journey and not getting all wrapped up in how good we are. Is that
I've tried. I mean, I've gotten older, right? So when I was younger, I wasn't so calm and composed. And I've been coaching, since 2000. So I've been around a lot, and I've watched a lot of other coaches and tried to figure out who I am. And, having kids and stuff has calmed you down. And, I do teach, and I think that helps, because what you have to do in the classroom, you learn that you have to do on the basketball court. So it's constantly like, why am I making this decision? Why am I doing it? And explaining why. I felt like a lot when I played, there wasn't as much explaining of why the coach is doing something. Sometimes it's hard to hear, but at least they know.
Has that been the key to you being able to keep this great talent? I mean, like the boys game, the best girls players also being wooed to go to private school as well. Has that helped you think keep some of these great seniors around?
Maybe, I think that we have a great Vienna youth program as well. I think they really do a great job of teaching the game of basketball. And so I think hopefully it's my personality, but I think I can't take anything away from that.
That's great. I'm sure it's both. We'll also go ahead and just jump right to the regionals. The districts, I think it was pretty smooth sailing in districts this year. But in regionals, you did have a close matchup against Langley, and that was at halftime. It was a pretty tight game. What was your mindset going into that game, and kind of tell us about the game?
I think because we had such an easy road, not easy. I mean, the Concord's really good. We had a lot of injuries. We had a lot of, the Concord district had a lot of injuries, but because we weren't as challenged, I think we didn't fix a lot of the mistakes that we make, because we could get away with the mistakes. And Coach Baker is very good at finding your mistakes and taking advantage of them. Or if there is a single thing that, we do, she'll take advantage of it. And she always has her kids mentally ready. So seeing them, I knew was going to be a battle for us.
Do you think it's good for your team that you had a relatively close game? Or, let's face it, in the next 3 games, you can have another close game. Is it nice to have, does that keep you sharper for what's to come?
Oh, 100%. We're facing a lot of great coaches. Diane Lewis is one of the best. Amanda Baker is one of the best. So, I think that having that game and the mentality, in any game, the mentality is, you've got to compete at all times. Last year we played Chantilly and we were down by 12 at halftime and they came back to win. So I think this team is mentally strong and they need to be challenged a little bit.
Yeah. It is kind of amazing. There are so many great coaches in the women's side in Northern Virginia. And maybe it's like that all over the country, but it just seems like there's so many great coaches. What do you think is the key? Why do we have so many great tacticians and motivators here?
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. I think women's basketball has been strong in Northern Virginia for a long time. And I think that, we have great work ethic, kids that just want to work and get better. And I don't know. That's a great question. But we do have a lot of strong female coaches in this area.
Yeah, it's always been that way ever since I remembered. It's been that way. So, well, let's talk about the state tournament. Unlike you guys, you're playing a pretty young team at Edison. So I guess you and Coach Lewis can compare notes at the end of the year. You can ask her about coaching a bunch of kids, but they grew up. They had a whole season to grow up a little bit. So they're even though they're sophomores, freshmen, and stuff, they're almost juniors now. When you play a whole season, there's growth there. What do you think about Edison going into this matchup, and what are some of the things that we should look for as fans?
Oh, I think Edison's tough. I've watched them play a couple times. They got that great point guard that, she can control a game herself. We've played a lot of tough teams, but she's really good. And all of Diane's teams always work hard. They're always diving on the ground. They're always, pushing their limits. So, I watched them outshoot Lake Braddock. So, they're just dangerous. So we'll see.
Right. Well, it's if you can't get up for a state tournament game, then, if you're a player, you really shouldn't be out there playing. So I'm sure it'll be a great matchup. Do you know anything about the teams in the other bracket? I know we got 2 Prince William teams, Osborne and Woodbridge, that we probably know a little bit about. And I think the other 2 teams are out of Richmond, I believe. So what do we know about the other bracket? And I'm not asking you to look ahead, just for fans who want to know what we can expect.
I only really know Osborne Park. We played them last year in the state finals, and I've known Chrissy Kelly for a long time, and she's another one. She coached Amanda Baker. So Chrissy Kelly, I always call the Yoda of women's basketball. She studies the game. She knows the game. If you ever want to watch a practice or watch someone, her, Diane Lewis, they're the queens. So I think Osborne Park will probably be one of the strong ones. And then I watched a little James River on film, and I think they have a point guard already signed from what my girls tell me. I don't know, but
yeah.
I'm trying just to focus on Edison right now.
Exactly. It's pretty irrelevant if you can't win the first one, right? So, look, I know you've been involved in the state tournament quite often. And do you wish there was a way we can streamline this and get Princess Anne and get all the best teams together? To me, when I used to follow the game more closely, there was only 3 champions. There was so much more tradition and rivalries because of the regions. And since we have 6 regions, it's a really strange region. The majority of the teams are in Northern Virginia now. That includes Prince William County. You don't play Princess Anne. I know this has nothing to do with the job that you do, but is it a little frustration there that we just can't get all the best teams in and see who's best?
I don't know about frustration, but it would be so fun. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up playing in the 3A. I won a state championship in 3A. And, I think about playing Lakeisha Frett and all the best names out there. You know what I mean? So I think, I do kind of wish that you could just take the best and play each other. I don't know if I'm sure that will never happen, but yeah, it would be fun.
Yeah. So this is probably a question that's putting the cart before the horse, but when my sister played in the state final her sophomore year, she had played on the JV team all year, and the coach moved her up to varsity, and her first game varsity was a state quarterfinal or semifinal. She played a lot and scored 8 points, and it really made a big difference in the next year. Do you ever think about with the young team how nice it would be to get young players experience at the state tournament?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you think my girls 3 years ago were competing in the state tournament, and I think that was a good, TC beat our butts at Westfield a couple of years ago, their freshman year, and I think they still talk about it and remember.
Is that right?
Freshmen. Oh yeah. When my seniors were freshmen, TC took it to us and they were like, we were scared. So I think, yeah, definitely like having some young kids get some minutes in any game. I mean, even the Northern Region games are good for them.
Yeah. That's one thing about great athletes. It doesn't matter how many state championships they win. They always talk about the one they didn't win. I was like, a lot of kids never win one. But that's a sign of a great team and a great coach. Well, anyway, Coach, it's been great getting to know you. I love the way you coach. I love your team. So I'm excited. The way they have the schedule now, it's so outrageous. Basically, all the games were at the same time in different gyms. So you have no ability to see multiple games. I mean, there's got to be a way at least to get a double header so you can watch, choose that or stagger the games in the afternoon on Saturday. It's very frustrating, and they do nothing to help the brand of high school basketball by doing that. Yeah. But I do hope I'm definitely going to see. I know you just take one game at a time, but whoever advances, I'm definitely going to watch a lot of girls basketball in the next week and a half, and I look forward to doing more podcasts and getting to know you better.
Yeah, I appreciate you supporting women's basketball as much as you do men's. It's cool. So hopefully we'll get to meet in person one time.
Yeah. All these Zooms, this is the COVID world we live in, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So anyway, well, again, Coach, I wish you the best of luck, and let's keep in touch and let's talk soon.
Great. Nice. Thank you for having me.
Of course, anytime. Thanks, Coach.
See ya.
Bye.